Hello everybody, welcome to the FTOG server. ToddytheBody here, Quantus pack. So there is another feature of Rftools Control that I would like to get started today that you can see from the title of the video. And then afterwards I would like to do a few more other things as long as this doesn't take too long. So the feature that I want to work on is I would like to be able to chat, say this command here, pull, and then it takes items out of my inventory, because even though we have this handy dandy ender bag here, or ender pouch, to put items into the inventory or into our storage, I would like an easier way, and then plus it'll free up an inventory spot. Alright, so let's get started. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start setting up some of our items here, or some of our blocks. Let's do a chat detector back here, and then just because it's in the back, we want to get this in there right away. And then we want to close this and then type in our command of pull. Now what this button does over here is that if it's open like that, then if you chat, everybody will be able to see your command, plus it'll do the command. If you do this, it'll hide it from all of the chat. So just for an example, if we type in pull, you'll see a redstone signal come out of that block. See, just like that. And it works cross-dimensionally. I think all it has to do is be, it just has to be loaded, which it is, because there's an anchor back behind this chest there somewhere. Alright, so then now before we get started with that, oh, and it's already got power. I didn't mean for that to happen. But there's something that I want to show you that I just found out, and that is the Extra Utilities Wireless RF Battery and the Extra Utilities Wireless RF Transmitter. Now there's something cool about this that I did not know before, which was why I was kind of avoiding it. But if you look at the tooltip, oh, I still have my magnet on. Oh, and I also changed out some of my sigils. So let's go ahead and look. I took out, whoop, that's not the right button. I took out the sigil here that was holding my diamond chest with all of my magic goodies. And I took out the compression sigil that was compressing ingots into blocks. So I have the green grove, you know what that does, it makes things grow. And then I have the magnet here. So instead of using that sigil to hold my chest, I just have this modular storage from Rftools now, and it holds the magic stuff. So let's put that back into our handy bag. Did I get it? Yep, there it is. And then we're on our way. Okay, so now the battery. If you look at the tooltip here, that one doesn't say it, but this one says it has a range of plus or minus 4 blocks. I thought before that meant it had to be within 4 blocks of the battery, but it seems as though that is not the case. So let's go ahead and cover that up, and just to demonstrate it, let's grab this, the atomic reconstructor. Over on the bottom left, you can see that it is not full of power, so we're going to get that, and then we are going to come right over here, far away from the battery. We're going to place this down. Still doesn't have all of its power, and we are going to place one of these wireless transmitters. Now if you right click it, it'll show you everything that's powering, which is powering that block there, and as you can tell, it is gathering power. Now it only transmits 80 RF per tick. Pretty small, right? But that's the perfect amount for blocks that we don't use all the time, like the atomic reconstructor and like our processors. You probably will, I mean, this kind of processor, not like ore processor. So yeah, you wouldn't want to use it for a quarry. You wouldn't want to use it for if you were processing lots of ores through machines. It wouldn't keep it powered. But for this, it will keep it powered. So what we're going to do is we're going to dig up this guy, which we can use for something else. So cover that back up. There we go. There we go. And let's go ahead and put it here so we can keep it in our for our like network capacity bank and everything. And I even made this one because I thought I would need it for the processor. So we're gonna throw that one up there as well, and then we'll come back and use that at some point whenever we decide that we need to use it. And in the meantime, we are going to throw this, we'll put it right there, and then now it is powering this processor and that processor, giving those two power, and 80 RF a tick is good enough to keep that good and full. Alright, so what else do we need? We need a player interface because we want this processor to grab items out of our inventory, and we want it to place them into the storage. Later on we'll do a vice versa sort of thing where we'll do some auto crafting. Before I place that up there, in case you don't know what player inventory is all about, or a player interface is all about, let's go ahead and place it right here for now, and then we'll move it down. If you see under here, it's got like a sword picture, and what that signifies is your hotbar. The sides here, that signifies this main inventory for your player here, and on top, it should be a picture of some armor. Yep, a picture of some armor, and that is this inventory over here. So you can do all sorts of things with this player interface. What we're doing for now, we're going to do the main inventory part. So we're going to put that on the side, just like that. It doesn't have to be on the side because with the Rftools Control, it has a sneaky function where you can decide like what area it will interact with. Okay, so we've got our programmer here. We have our chat detector back there. Our computer is full of processors. We don't need this many, but they're empty spaces, so I thought I'd fill them up. We've got a storage control module, which is already linked to our storage scanner. And just in case I ever use any nodes or anything, we've got a network card down here. For this function, we're not going to need it, but it's in there anyways. And I think that that is all I need. Let's go ahead and get this out of here. There we go. And then let's see if we can try to set up a program together. All right. So what we want to do is we want to start this program off with a redstone signal. And the redstone signal is coming from behind the processor, which is the north side. So we are going to do north. There it is. And then we're going to send that on to the next thing. All right. So now I want it to examine item in an inventory, and then inventory that I want to examine from is going to be the player interface, or my inventory, and that's going to be on the east side. So we want to go to the east inventory. All right, east, and we want to do it from one of the sides. It doesn't matter as long as it's not up or down, so north is fine. All right, and we'll grab that. And then the slot that we want to get it from is we want to get it from this slot. Now, I'm not sure if what the numbers are on these slots, because sometimes they can vary, but I imagine that this one is 0. So if it goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 right here. So I'm thinking that we want to do slot 7. And to check that, we are going to do a quick program. So it's going to check that item, evaluate item, and then does it give the name or the string? Item stack in targeted slot. Okay, yeah, it will actually tell us. So what we want to do is we want to do a log message, and then we want it to tell the machine the last message here, what it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a stone block into that inventory. I'm going to get a test card right there, and then I'm going to throw it into here. Oh, you know what we forgot to do? We forgot to save the program onto there. All right, so test card onto there, and then now what will happen is that when we type in pool and activate it, it'll read that slot. Whoop, we gotta get the chat thing up. It'll tell us what it is. So if we did that, we go inside here, and it says stone. So good, that's the right spot, stone. All right, so let's get that back out. Just put it in here, and then we'll move on. So now that we know that we have the right spot, we can move on. It is going to, ooh, do I need a variable? I do need a variable. Okay, so, whoops. Let's get control in there, control, and then we need to make one of these RAM chips. Yeah, but first we need one of these. There we go. And then now we can make one of those RAM chips. Awesome. That. All right. And then go into here. We will take that spot. And then now we'll have to put this guy back into our handy bag. Okay. So now I think we're ready to go. We've got some spots here. So we're just going to use spot 0. Yep. Not defined. All right. Good to go. Oh, also we're going to allocate the first spot into this one down here. So remember that spot in the processor is 0. Okay, so now back to the program. What we're going to do is we're going to take that item, and then we are going to store it into a variable. There's a command down here somewhere. I think this is it, set variable. All right, and then we're going to set the variable as the last function. Do we do, oh yeah, set it as 0. Great. Right? Is that how it works? Okay, if not, we'll come back to it. Alright, and then what we're going to do is we're going to check the inventory over there for all of the items that are whatever was in that spot, which is now stored in the variable. And hopefully that is right. Let's go ahead and look at the copy the last return value to the specified variable. Yep, that's what we need. Alright, so we're going to check the inventory to the, what was it? East? Awesome. Check the inventory to the east on any of the sides. It's not up or down. There we go. And we are going to check any of the slots, and we are going to check for the item that is variable 0. Great. And then or dictionary routable we're going to keep blank. And then we are going to go down here, and the number we want it to be greater to or equal to 0 so that we know when to stop doing this. Alright, 0. Alright, so when the number is 0, then we want the program to stop. So we want the false over here, we want the true, false over here, true over here. When the number is 0, we want the program to stop. This is the stop program option. Alright, but if the item is still in the inventory, what we want to do is we want to grab that item and put it into the processor. So fetch items from the inventory on the east from any of the sides that are not up and down. We want to grab it from any of the slots inside this player inventory. We'll want to grab the item that is in variable 0, which in that other case would be stone. We want to grab, we'll leave the amount blank so that it grabs stacks at a time. We want to do slot out in slot 0 because if you remember in the processor we allocated slot 0, and then or dictionary and routable we want it to not do anything. Alright, and then now that it's in the processor we want to send it to an inventory. And so let's go to the top here. The inventory we're going to leave blank because if you leave it blank then it'll access the storage control module, which is our main storage. So we're going to leave that one blank, and then we are going to do which slot in the main inventory, we're going to leave that blank also. The amount we're going to leave blank so it does stacks at a time. The slot in, what slot in the processor will we find the items, and that is in slot 0. And then I think what we need to do, I think that's it. I think what we need to do is we need to circle it back around just in case there is more stone in my inventory. Just in case there is more stone in my inventory, we want it to count again and see if it's all there. I don't think that we have to erase the variable right here once it's set in a 0. I think once the program is over, it erases it on its own. But we're going to go ahead and give it a shot. So let's go ahead and save. There we go. And then put that inside the processor, and I believe this program is done. So let's go ahead and grab a bunch more stone. There we go. And you'll notice I have some in my hotbar, and I also have some inside of my main inventory here. What it should not do is it should not grab the stone inside my hotbar. So let's go ahead and do pool and see what happens. So we got that, and it did not pool. So what is the problem? Missing variable on number 2, 2. All right, so let's see what we got here. 1, 2, 1, 2, missing variable. All right, so it examines the item in slot 7. It sends that information into this one. We set it on this into variable. What are we missing here? Does this say stone? No, it does not say stone. Well, this is one of those situations. Let me figure it out and then I'll come right back. Okay, we're back. Silly me. The program is all exactly the same. What we didn't do is that, you know how we allocated this spot over here? We also have to allocate this right here. So I think that that should work now. So that is the only thing I changed. Let's go ahead and try it again. Pull all that stone. And now my whole entire inventory is empty. Oh, that's so good. All right. So now what we have to do is we have to try to remember all of the items that we had before. Okay, so this problem got complicated. I figured it out, and then just to show you that it works, let's go ahead and grab some things. Some bones, some dirt. We've got some dirt up there in slot 7. We do pool. It takes just the dirt. Let's do the bones. Let's do nothing. Let's do nothing. There we are. Pool. Should take nothing. Great. Let's do the bones. Pool. And it should take that. Now let's see here. Let's do some more bones. This is one thing that I think it's going to still be a little bit buggy. So we've got nothing up in there. Is it going to pull the bones? No, it doesn't. Okay, well that's good. It works then. Alright, so let's go ahead and get rid of those. Great. Those are gone. Now let me show you what I did. Everything in here is the same. No, it's not. We have a token now. We have slot 0. This is slot 1. This is slot 0 for the RAM, or variables. And then let's go ahead and look at our program. Alright, so I've added a little bit here. What it does is it's going to check slot 7 here to see if there are any items. If the items are equal to 0, then it's going to stop. If it's not equal to 0, which means there's something there, it's going to check what that item is, and then it's going to set that value to the token, and it's asking what slot in the processor the token is. The token is in slot 1. And what a token does, let's see if it has, yep, this item is a simple token. It does not do anything by itself, but it can store information. Alright, so it's kind of like a variable, except for it's in an item form. So we're going to store what that item is in slot 7 onto a token, which is in slot 1 of the processor. Alright, and then we are going to tell our program, well, to read the token in slot 1. What is that item? And then we're going to set that item to a variable. Now I know that this seems like it's a little bit redundant, but I'll tell you why here. Alright, we're going to set it to slot 1. This fetch items deal, what happens is that the first time it runs through it, it will go ahead and it'll look to see what is in variable 0 and then grab just that item. But then it seems as though, and I tested this by putting these log messages around in different places, but it seems that in between the fetch item step and the push item step, it deletes what variable 0 is. And I'm not sure why, because in Avant we did the same program that we were running before, that I had just shown you before this one, and it worked. So one of the improvements that MC Jetty did on the Rftools Control broke that part, so it deletes the variable. Okay, so it reads what's in the variable, and you might say, well, why don't you just read what's from the card? For some reason it doesn't want to read what's from the card, it'll just grab anything. But reading from the variable, it'll grab what's in the variable. Okay, so now that the items are in the processor slot, which is slot 0, it will take the item from slot 0 and place it into our main storage. Alright, so then it does that. So then it goes down. Now what I didn't know before, but I should have looked, is that these two opcodes will give back numbers. Alright, so the fetch items, it'll give back, you see down yellow at the very bottom, amount of items fetched. And then down here, pushed items, amount of items that are inserted into the inventory. Alright, so amount of items. So if it is pushing items into our inventory, then it is going to go down here. It is going to read the amount of items it pushed, and then it's going to count if it's equal to 0 or more. If it's not equal to 0, then that means it had pushed something. So then it's going to go on, and it's going to reread what is in that token, what the value is. And I think the last thing we did was bone. So you can see there it says value bone. Alright. So it's going to reread what the token says, and it's going to look for more bones, set it to variable again, which is pretty much reminding the program that variable 0 should be bone. So then this will grab it, it'll delete it again, and then it goes around, gets reminded, delete, reminded. That's why we have that loop with these items in there. Alright, so then if it ever runs out of bones, then that means it is going to insert 0 items, which means it is equal to 0, so then it'll stop the program. So it got complicated, and I fixed it. So this is the program right here. If you have any questions, please ask, and I'll try to explain it again. We'll go through each opcode maybe in another episode if you didn't catch anything or if I glossed over something. But now, since the variable thing is broken and it gets deleted after the fetch items opcode, then that's how it is now. And it's broken. But this is a workaround. Alright. So I have run out of time. I just wanted to maybe show some of the practicalities of this program. Like, say if I have a bunch of cactus that I was cooking up and I don't want to pull out my bag, now I can do this, pull, and it'll grab all the cactus out of the inventory and put it into my storage. Let's say if I am, let's make it nighttime or daytime. There we go. Let's say that I am over here and collecting wood. Dun, 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 dun. Here we are by the wood. Yep. All right, let's get some growing things. Let's get an axe. Let's turn on our magnet. Great. All right, so let's go ahead and cut down some wood. I'm over here just getting wood for my system. Okay, we're frozen. Are we gonna come back? We're back. All right, plant some trees, grab all that, grow the tree again, blah, 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 you know, so on and so forth as you collect wood. Let me do it one more time just so I have a fair amount in my system, in my inventory here. One more time. Whoop. Yeah, let's grab that right there. Okay. And then I'll put that back because I don't want it there anymore. So chop that down to get the last little bit. Plant our tree again for next time. There's a sapling. Alright. So now I've got a bunch of stuff in my inventory. Instead of going back to base or pulling out my bag, I could put something in that slot there. And then make sure I have everything in this inventory. And then we do pull. It'll get all the sticks. And then we want to do the logs. Pull, whoops, there we go, and then it gets all the logs. There it is. All right, and then I always just throw this down. Oh, and I have my magnet on, so I'm just gonna pick that right back up, turn off the magnet, throw that down again, and then we're good to go. So that is why you would want that program. It kind of saves on inventory management. Some of the other things I wanted to show off but didn't have time for. Let's see, did I do anything over here? New. Well, I made this guy just so I can get into some more botania, but you've seen that before. I took a page out of Techno Jock's book and I moved my altar over here, and underneath I have the Inferno machine. Can I actually get in here anymore? No, I think I've closed myself off. Okay, let's see if I can just get down from here, and then I'll have to put all this back. Yeah, so I have the Inferno machine, and I've got Woot. We're making the Nether Stars. The Nether Stars are getting pushed into an Ender chest, which is going into another location, which is in my random things dimension. So let's head over there just to show it. There we are. Alright. So now the things are coming out of the chest, getting sorted, moving over to my Nether Star generator. And yeah. So, yep, that's that. I'm sorry that we did not do more in this episode, but for real, I ran out of time. I have to start getting ready for work. But I will see you all next time, and bye-bye.